Alright guys, Tom here, and welcome to Game Week 7, the predictions for my Premier League predictions on Friday, and I haven't done this since I think it was Game Week 2. Basically, the idea behind this is where I give you my predictions for this week's Game Week, so I upload it every Friday. Honestly, don't have an excuse for why I haven't really been uploading it. Every time I usually edit this and produce it on Thursday and upload it on the night and then put it public on Fridays. And I always seem to forget on the Thursday, which is really, really bad of me, I know. But I just always seem to forget. And it's taken me a few weeks to actually finally remember that I actually have to do these. And honestly, I haven't really been feeling like doing them because it's unbelievably quite a lot of editing that needs to go into these videos, as it's got loads of things happening on the screen. And I did actually realise, looking through the comments on the earlier predictions I did for Game Week 2 and 1, I think it was, that the response was absolutely amazing. I got so many likes, quite a lot of views and everything. It would be a shame not to keep this series going, really, and I really, really like it. It's probably one of the most proud series I actually do, but we're already into the minute of the commentary and I haven't even started the predictions yet, but I'm pretty proud to upload these videos, this series, because I think it gets a really good response, and I'm definitely bringing it back because I'm starting with Game Week 7, and this week we've got not that many decent games, really. The game in the background is Newcastle versus Manchester United, and that's my last prediction, but I'll start with the Manchester City versus Sunderland game, and Manchester City didn't actually have that good of a game in midweek in the Champions League against Borussia Dortmund. They drew 1-1, they actually got a penalty in the last dying minute, so had a bit of a shaky game in the Champions League, really, and last week they did get a win, really. Manchester City won against Fulham 2-1 away, a bit of a shaky win, really, 2-1 away to Fulham, as they were the champions last season. 2-1, probably would have expected a little better from them, but Fulham is a pretty hard place to go away to. They're a bit rowdy down there, so they got a 2-1 win against Fulham last week, and I'm going for a 2-1 win against Sunderland at home. Maybe a bit lenient for Man City here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Sunderland did actually get a draw from this game, because last season, as you may know, Sunderland won them at home, and Sunderland actually got a draw against Manchester City when Manchester City were at home. It was 3-3 in the end. Sunderland were winning 3-1 at one point, I think it was. Sunderland were really, really unlucky not to actually get a win in that game, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Manchester City. Simply because the fact that they haven't really been playing that well these last few weeks. They didn't have exactly a great game against Borussia Dortmund in midweek, like I've already said, and they also didn't have a very good game against Fulham. They were a bit shaky as well, so they haven't had that many good results. The first game of the season against Southampton, they should have really buried that game away, and I think it ended 3-2, I think it was. Really, really shaky, and they're not exactly doing that well. They're fourth at the moment with 12 points, and Chelsea have got 16 points. So the next game is Chelsea, of course, against Norwich. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win, because simply Norwich lost 5-2 to Liverpool last week. 5-2 to Liverpool, and Liverpool really haven't been at their best this season. You could definitely say that. They've been pretty poor, actually, and winning 5-2 away, Norwich losing 5-2 at home, of course, is a pretty big loss. And Norwich, on paper, are going to get absolutely hammered, but I think Chelsea will only score 3. Might have been a bit slack on that. I think it might even be more than 3, and I think I've been pretty lenient on the 1 goal to Norwich. They have the potential to score 1 goal from Holt, probably, but apart from that, Chelsea are going to absolutely demolish Norwich. I'm pretty sure of that. Norwich have been absolutely awful. I think they lost 5-0 on the opening day, I think it was, so an absolutely dreadful start to the season. Norwich will be lucky to even get a point in this game, but I don't even think it's going to come close. So 3-1 to Chelsea at home, of course, maybe even more. The next game is Swansea versus Reading, and Swansea have made a pretty decent start to the season. They won 5-0 on the opening day against QPR, and from there they've really gone downhill. That's probably why I've gone for the 2-1 against Reading. Reading have only played 5 games. The other teams, except Sunderland, have played 6 games. So if Swansea have get their extra game that they need to play and win, at this point they would be placed in 8th place, which is an absolutely incredible spot for Swansea at this point of the season. It's really, really good. Swansea have gone downhill. That's probably why I've probably gone for the 2-1 against Reading. Reading have been pretty poor. They're placed in 19th at the moment. Pogrebniak really hasn't shown up. He hasn't been at all as good as what he was for Fulham, and he was an absolute stormer when he came to Fulham. I think it was in December or January time. They really, really need to get off, but they're all away, and I think Swansea are going to have the key here. 2-1 to Swansea. The next game is West Bromwich Albion versus QPR, sorry. And I've gone for a 3-1 win to West Bromwich Albion, which seems pretty high. They are at home. QPR are doing absolutely dreadful. It's not even funny. The last 3 results from West Brom have been 1-1 against Aston Villa away. They lost to Liverpool at home 2-1, which is understandable really. Liverpool, a decent side, poor start, but that was in the League Cup. The next 3 games were Premier League, of course. It was West Brom who won 1-0 against Reading, who are actually placing 19th, and the 2 rows before that were, they lost 3-0 to Fulham, who are in a pretty decent side this year, but they were away, of course, and West Brom won 2-0 against Everton, who are really, really good this season, but that was on the 1st of September, so nearly a month ago. But West Brom are ranked really, really high in the table at the moment. They're placed way, way, way up in 6th place, which is an absolutely incredible stat. So that's why I've gone for a 3-1 win to West Bromwich Albion. They're at home at QPR, doing absolutely dreadful. I'm pretty sure West Bromwich Albion would really like to push for more points and see how long they can actually stay up there in the 6th place. The next game is Wigan versus Everton. I've gone for a 2-1 win to Everton. They are away, so maybe be understandable why I have actually just gone for the 2 goals. Wigan not doing that great. Wigan, in fact, are placed 16th in the league, sorry. So not that great for Wigan. They are a kind of a mid-table side. They did pretty well last season, actually, and they've played 6 games, of course, like every other team. They've only got 4 points, which is pretty surprising. As when I did actually watch them against Chelsea, I think it was the 2nd game, they played really, really well. I think Kone's really, really good player, good striker for Wigan, and I did go for the 2-1 winning for Everton, as they've been absolutely incredible, beating Man United on the first game week, 1-0 at home to Man United were away, of course, so a pretty poor start for Man U, but I get onto them later. And Everton have been absolutely incredible, who are actually ranked 2nd in the league. 2nd, which is incredible, with 13 points, only 3 behind Chelsea, which is absolutely amazing for David Moyes and his team, who are on a really, really low budget. Fellaini, incredible player. I think I may have been slightly mean on Everton here. I can see them getting more, but 2-1 I think it will be. 2-1 is a nice little result for Everton away to Wigan. The next match is West Ham United against Arsenal. I've gone for a 2-1 win for Arsenal. They did really, really well against Chelsea. They did actually lose though. They lost 2-1, but Arsenal not in the greatest form this year. They do have a decent side with Giroud and Cazorla, who's an absolute beast player. Cazorla, really, really good player. But 2-1 against West Ham United have been pretty decent this week. I mean, on Monday's game, they drew 2-2 against Newcastle United, and 2-1 to Arsenal. I think it's going to be, I mean, Kevin Nolan, and if he gets another goal, will be absolutely awesome. And Arsenal, I really like to see Giroud get a goal, his first Barclays Premier League goal, as he hasn't actually scored yet. So 2-1 Arsenal could be more though. It's quite a hard one to go for, because West Ham, decent side, but Arsenal, not particularly sure what kind of form they're in. They're up and down, up and down. And they did, of course, win 3-1 in the Champions League with midweek. I can't really call it, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Arsenal. The next game is Southampton against Fulham. Hard one to call. Fulham are away, so I went for a 2-1 win. Southampton, potential, definitely potential, but I mean, no match for Fulham. I mean, I think Berbatov's coming back as well, so could be more, but I think I'm going to go for a 2-1 for Fulham. Decent side, and I mean, they'll be looking for points, definitely. And the next game is Liverpool versus Stoke. And I've already touched on Liverpool winning 5-2. Incredible. Suarez definitely back, scoring a hat-trick. And I'm going to go for a simple, for Liverpool, since they played really well last week, a 3-1 win. Stoke, in fact, won 2-0 against Swansea. Pretty good win, but Liverpool are at home, amazing form, and they're currently on 14th place, so they really need to bump that up. The next match, I'm going to have to be quick, but it's Spurs versus Villa. Spurs, I went to the match for Man United, and they won 3-2. Lucky win. United should have done much better, but 3-0 as they won 3-2 last week. Great confidence. Tottenham are stuck and sitting in a nice, comfortable 5th position with 11 points, so only 5 points behind rivals Chelsea, really. And, of course, Villa did actually win against... And of course, Villa did actually get that draw, which I touched up upon, against West Brom 1-1 last week. So they'll be looking for points as well, as they're stuck in 15th place. So poor for them, but I'm definitely going to go for a win for Tottenham. Great side. And the last game is Newcastle versus Manchester United. We saw this match in the Capital One Cup. I mean, of course, the Capital One Cup isn't really a great indication, because both teams really didn't play their full team. I mean, I was expecting a better team from Newcastle, and Manchester United, of course, always take it as a Mickey Mouse Cup, which I don't really mind, as I get to see new players and players I maybe not even have heard of, and pretty boring match really. Man United won at 2-1. Pretty scary end to it really. I mean, Newcastle really could have gone for a draw in that match and maybe gone to penalties, etc. But I'm going to go for a 1-1 as Manchester United were actually that comfortable against Cluj in midweek, winning 2-1 with a great strike from Van Persie. He got 2 goals actually, one off his shoulder as well. And Newcastle did actually get a draw in last week's game against Reading. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 since the Toon are at home. And this is basically the end of the video, guys. So hopefully you've enjoyed and liked the fact that the series is back. Thanks for watching and goodbye.